Okay, let's jump into this, everyone. My name is Vince, and I want to welcome you to another presentation of Novedge's Best of the Best webinar series. I want to thank all of you for joining us today. We're really excited to not only be presenting Bricscad version 12, but to have Daniel Marcotte on board presenting for us. Before we get into things, I just want to give a little background on Daniel before we get started. As a Bricsys partner, he's serving the China region. He has over 15 years experience in the CAD industry in production engineering, CAD management, and also as a freelance draftsman. Daniel is also fluent with CAD APIs and has a passion for developing time-saving tools. So I think we're in good hands. Daniel's going to show us a great presentation today. Daniel's going to speak for about the next 40 minutes or so. During that time, everyone will be in listen-only mode, but please feel free to shoot your questions into the question box. At the end, we'll open up for a Q&A, and we'll get to as many questions as time allows. We will be recording this webinar, so if anyone has to leave early for whatever reason, don't worry. We'll give you an email with complete information on where to find the webinar afterwards. So having said all that, I want to jump into it as soon as we can. Daniel, are you there?
Yes, I am.
I'm going to switch the screen over to you and let you take it from here.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Yep, there it is, Bricscad Platinum.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. So today is an overview of Bricsys, Bricscad V12. I'm going to be running through some of the commands and tell you a little bit about Bricscad. So Bricscad is a full-featured 2D, 3D CAD program. We currently run under Windows and Linux for all the Linux users. And you can check out our site at www.bricscad.com. And to start off with, I'm just going to run through the menu options so you can get a feel for the program. The old trusty file menu. Okay, under here, these are pretty self-explanatory. There's a new wizard that can help you set up a new drawing. You can set it up for 3D modeling, 2D drafting, imperial, metric dimensions. You can specify your unit of measurement, your degrees, precision, and if whether you're using color dependent or style dependent layers. UCS icon, you want blips, you want the grid on, snaps, line types. And I've selected a 3D view there. Okay. We have a recent files list. It's branched off the main menu here. You can have a big long list of recent drawings. It's a user-defined variable. I'll show you that later. Close. Import. We can import DXF, WMF files. Save as. Export. We have a variety of different export options. DXF, drawing templates, bitmaps, DWF, DXF, PDF, which is handy. Page setup. And this is our drawing explorer. I'll get to this a little bit later. Print preview, publish. Our plot style manager, plotter manager, drawing properties, so that you set up custom drawing properties that you see when the drawing is created. Drawing utilities, we have audit, recover, and purge. We have send mail, so you can send the drawing as mail, and e-transmit. So I'll show you some of these. Here's a sample drawing. Page setup. This is our interface for our Drawing Explorer. From here, you can see pretty much every aspect of the drawing: layer, layer states, line types, text styles. So I'm in the page setup here. To change your device, double click on it. Here's your page setup. You can do inches, millimeter, by view, extents. Set your scaling, do a preview, landscape, portrait, print upside down. You can offset the page. And of course, we support a wide variety of plotters. You can set up the layout tabs. Print preview. Oh, that looks so good. But that's what it'll print. Publish. You can change your page setup, your plot device, plot size, and I haven't initialized these layout tabs. Just got to click on them. And e-transmit. So I can zip up this drawing, all the fonts that go along with it, and send it. I can add drawings. And I can transmit. Okay, edit menu. Okay, this basic standard stuff here: undo, redo, copy. With the base point, paste this block, paste special. View. You can set views. You can change the look from. Plan view, perspective. You can set up your viewports here, paper space views, and you can set your drafting context whether you're drawing in 2D or 3D. And I'll be doing some more of this later. Rendering, if you're doing 3D stuff. Modeling, high quality, 2D wireframe. And some options to show the command bar or status bar, scroll bars. Insert. You can insert blocks, fields, objects, XREFs, raster images, PDFs, and I'll show you some of that now. It's a blank drawing. Now I'm going to do a raster image. We have our own in-house built raster image generator. This raster image is 229 megabytes. So it might take a second to load. Insertion point. I'm not sure where this is, but this is a pretty big raster image, and as you can see, I can pan and zoom in really fast. So this is a high-performance raster engine that's built in-house. Again, works on Linux or Windows. I can add attach PDF. And that's a PDF of this drawing. You can add a new layout. There we go. There's our new layout. And we can import and export ASYS objects, 3D objects. Settings. This is our interface for the settings. It's really intuitive. From here, you can control all your system variables, drafting, settings, user variables. The great thing about this is you can have different views. You can export it and import it, so you can save all your settings or transfer settings to another computer. And some quick links to some of the most used settings like dimensions, drawing settings. This is also searchable, so if you want to search for something, if it's not found, it kind of highlights red, and then you can choose next if there's more than one found. So if you don't quite know the variable name, you can find it. It's very intuitive. Some other CAD programs, you're flipping through all tabs, and it's kind of hard to find what you're looking for. You can set layers. This is back to the Drawing Explorer, and I'll show some more of this. Something with some more layers. This is our layers view. You can freeze, turn them on and off, turn the layers on and off, lock, change the color, line type, line weight, plot style, and set materials for doing 3D rendering. You can set your entity snaps, your OS mode, drawing limits, elevation, UCS, Okay, under the Tools menu, we have our Drawing Explorer. From here, you can control everything. I've showed you some already with layers. You can have layer states. Set your line types, text styles, dimension styles, all from one easy-to-use dialog. Table styles, coordinate systems, views, visual styles, lights and materials, blocks, XREF images, PDF underlays, and dependencies and section planes and page setups. Now in this Drawing Explorer, under blocks, you can actually just double click on one of these and insert. And it'll insert the block. So it's a built-in block manager. Okay. Standard stuff, spell checking, draw order. If you have lines that overlap, you can send to back, bring to front. You can query a dimension. Attributes, you can define attributes, or edit block attributes, and extract attributes. Entity data, you can create your own custom entity data or view entity data. Fields, if you're using fields, you can update your fields. External reference editing, you can create a block, save block, snapshots, and load third-party applications. Draw menu, you can has all your standard CAD stuff. You can draw lines, rays, rectangles, hatches, tables, modeling. This is our 3D stuff. I'll get into this later. And our full range of dimensioning, linear dimensioning. Let me see here. You have your full range of dimensions. You modify it. From here you can see the properties. I don't know if you can see this. I can't tell if this webinar palette is blocking your view or not. But this is our properties dialog palette. If you select an object, it's going to tell you what it is. You can make changes from here by layer, line types, thickness, materials, geometry. So you can change the length of a line or text of an M text. You can modify raster images, move, copy, rotate, centered stuff, flatten and explode. This is our parametric, and I'll get into this in a minute. And Windows. And of course, help. Okay. Okay, let's do some drawing stuff. We have dynamic input. So you can enter in the dimensions when you're drawing. Cool feature. Lines and circles. Set the radius. Let's see. Next, I'd like to show you our tool palette. It's a new feature. From here, you can add custom commands. Draw a line. Dimension. Do M-text. Type. From our tool palette, you can add your own custom palette. And if you want to add some blocks to there, you can go to Drawing Explorer, Blocks. Well, I don't have any blocks in this one. Right-click on it, add to current palette. There it is. You can just drag it on here. There's options to where you can update the image, properties. You can set the rotation, scale factors, layers. Hatches, you can add your own hatches. Commands. Okay, let's get into some more drawing stuff. The next thing I'd like to show you is 2D constraints. This is a very powerful feature that can add some intelligence to your geometry. I have a drawing for that. I'm going to draw a rectangle, and I'm going to explode it into lines. And then I'm going to add some constraints. Add some more. I'm going to make a cabinet here. I'm just going to add some hinge indicators, center line. Now I'm going to add some intelligence to this. I'm going to use the auto constraints feature Now it automatically adds what constraints it thinks it should add. And wherever there's a constraint, there's a little menu option here, and you can turn it off and on. So now, if I grab this script, everything stays intact. Let's see, I'm going to add perpendicular constraint. And I want to add a dimension constraint. Kind of hard to see, but I'll zoom into it in a second. Oops. I think I messed that up. So now I have this tied to a dimension. Let me add a regular dimension. So now I can double click on this dimension constraint and type in the dimension I really want. Oops. That's not right. Isn't that weird, guys? I think it's just where I have this set. Let me move these back in. Okay, that's better. I have that a little bit out of range. Let me add some new ones right quick, if you don't mind. Okay. So you can show and hide the constraints. And they're still operational. All right. So that's 2D constraints. Sorry about that. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is some of our new 3D tools. We have two different types of solid modeling. The history-based and a direct modeling. I'll show you history-based. As you add solids or modify the solids, the history is stored within the object. Enter coordinates. Okay. And I need to use the tools within this menu to maintain the history. Now this shows you the history of everything I've done to this solid. I've created a block, it stores the UCS, the color, it says I added a cylinder, I've got a fillet and another fillet. Now I can edit each step that I've applied to the solid. So if I want to change the fillet radius, that changed the radius. Now the next type of solid modeling is really cool. I'm probably going to flubber through this. I haven't had that much practice on it. And it's our direct modeling. And from here, I can just use any ACID solid. And it has our new menu system. It's called the quad. And from here, you can access items that you can do either to the face, to the edge, to the solid. So if I want to do a push-pull, I can do that. If I want to change the edge, I want to align the UCS to this face. Now this direct modeling could be a whole webinar on its own. There's a lot to it, so I'm probably not doing it justice. If I hover over an edge, it's going to say, do you want to chamfer? It's going to give me a list of options I can do with that. Again, I can have, it's got dynamic input. And I have another drawing here. Let me see. I didn't make this. So I can modify. There's also 3D constraints where you can apply constraints to holes. So if you change one hole, for instance, the diameter or radius, all the holes will change. So that is some of the 3D features we have. Next, I'd like to show you our rendering engine. Let me reopen this. Oops, wrong file. Okay, from here we can apply. Well, what I have here is just some basic solids, and change the view. So I can assign materials to these solids. See, that's not cool. And this is, this is fully rendered, and it's really fast, zooming around, panning. Oops. And from here, you can make, in our Drawing Explorer, under Materials, you can make changes to, and view it real time. You can change your texture map, glossiness, the highlights. Whoa. That's a mirror, so it's showing you white. Change that. And that's rendered. And here is a pretty cool layout here. That's a nice rendering. Again, you can change your materials, lighting, You can set cameras, you can set the position of the lighting. You probably can't work on the geometry while it's rendered, but it's no slouch. It's pretty quick. So I can extrude and modify entities as they're rendered. Okay, the last thing I'd like to talk about is our APIs. We're fully compatible with AutoLisp, Lisp. We have a great Lisp engine. It's really fast. DCL, scripts. We have a new .NET API for C# and VB.NET. We have a full C++ API. It's compatible with ARX. And we also have another API, it's DRX. And there's a lot of applications that have been written for Bricscad. I think we have over 200 applications. If you visit our website, you can find the link to applications. I think there's over 200 applications from every field, manned, survey, free stuff like block managers and all kinds of goodies. So there's something that fits just about everybody's needs. If you have custom in-house Lisp routines, they'll work pretty much right out of the box. Just load them and run. Let's see, what else can I show? Turn the quad. One thing I forgot to show you is we have the ability to trim hatches. Still nothing that I want. Darn it. Let me try this again. Sorry, guys. Oh, shit, this happened. We can trim hatches. Lots of cool goodies. So this is just an overview. Maybe in the future we can do webinars for each aspect, you know, the 3D modeling, 3D constraints, something I didn't go over. So anyway, let's open it up for questions.
Yeah, Daniel, great. Yeah, so if anyone wants to shoot in questions now, it would be a great time. We have one already from Raymond. He was asking, when will you be able to read AutoCAD 2013 files?
From what I understand, it'll be towards the end of the year. We're about a year behind. Each time Autodesk comes out with a new file format, we're about a year behind. I think the ODA is making good progress on it. Of course, we've got to beta test everything and make sure it works fine before we release it.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Somewhere towards the end of the year.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, keep your heads up for that one. Here's one from Lloyd. He's asking, can you export to 3ds or other 3D formats?
This is what we currently support. So it's DXF, BMP, EMF. So no 3DX.
I see. Yeah, if there are any other questions, there's one from Steve, and he's asking how much does it cost. I'll actually answer that in a minute as soon as we're done with the Q&A. So Steve, just hang on for the answer. So yeah, I don't know, there aren't any other questions coming in. I don't know if you wanted to go over one last thing, maybe for the next 5 minutes or so.
Sure. I got a lot of drawings open. Okay, so some cool features we have. We have tables. You can specify a window, or you can specify how many rows and columns you want. We support fields. So what I've done here is I've attached a field inside this table of the length of this object. So if this object changes, so does the value. Of course, you can do regular text. We support fields within blocks and block attributes. So if you have let's see if we can create one. Missed it. Layer. I'll do length again. Now if I change this, it's going to change as well. Another thing we have is Block editing. Create a new block. So now I can edit this block and save it. And it's going to update all the other block references. That's a pretty cool feature. Any other questions come in?
Yeah, we'll just get to two quick ones right here. This one's from Wada, and he's wondering, does it do NURBS modeling?
Not yet, but it's planned. I'm not sure if it's going to be our next release, but you might inquire on our webpage under a support request when it's going to be available, but I know it's in progress.
Awesome. That's great news. We'll just get to one last question here from Raymond. He's wondering, can you save DXF with option of selected objects only?
You may just export an entity. Let's see. And I think it is just the whole file.
I see. So yeah, I think we'll end the Q&A there. I'm going to switch the screen over to me, and I'm going to give a brief little send-off for everyone. So again, first of all, I'd like to thank you, Daniel. Tremendous presentation. I'm sure everyone out there enjoyed it as much as I did. And then I wanted to thank everyone for attending another presentation of Novedge's Best of the Best webinar series. If you're unfamiliar with this here at Novedge, we're the leading online design software superstore. Not only do we have the best prices around, but our staff is extremely awesome, incredibly knowledgeable. We would love for you to call, chat with us at any time. I know there was a question about price during the Q&A. We do have the program. We have the complete line of Bricscad 12 products. The price is on your screen listed. As you can see, it's a great value for what you're getting. You saw the many features that it can do, 2D and 3D, as well as the rendering. So if you have any questions about it, don't hesitate to email our Bricscad sales rep, Bob Thayer. His email is bob@novedge.com. I'll send a follow-up email to everyone as well with his email if you want to get in contact with him about purchasing your own Bricscad. And then the last thing I want to draw your attention to before we go here is an online community we've created here at Novedge for CAD users. It's called WikiCAD. It's basically a place where you can come and collaborate with other CAD users. We have tons of news, tutorials, videos, training events, all things CAD related. So it is free to join. This webinar will be made available there online for you to view. So if you're interested, don't hesitate. Just head over to wikicad.org and check it out. So having said all that, again, I want to thank you, Daniel, and thank everyone for attending. Daniel, do you want to say anything before we sign off here?
Check it out. You can get a 30-day free trial. Download it. Play around with it. It's a great program.
Yes, definitely. We also have the free trial available on our website too, so if you're interested in that, again, don't hesitate to email us. We'd love to hear from you guys. So having said all that, we'll catch all you guys next time.